Hello everyone, it's Guy Eagle again with the Renewable Wisdom Trails Cosmology and Library, and today we're presenting a couple of things that go a little bit more into the metaphoric language, and it's kind of the funner one for me. In a previous video we did the 4 powers. What are the 4 powers? We have the power of birthing, that's taught by spring. We have the power of growth, taught by summer. We have the power or death and change, taught by fall or autumn. And we have the power of rebirth, taught by winter. Now, what does that mean? We're in the winter season right now. We're in the beginning of February 2025 when we're recording this. We are in the rebirthing time of Mother Earth. How does she do that? Well, one of the things, she puts on her winter robe. Some people think of that as snow or ice, but it is a robe. And she puts that on, and it seals everything that went in from the past years of growth. So whether it be leaves, branches, other kinds of debris, the insects that have died, the animals that have died, everything just kind of gets sealed in so she can start this process of composting or digesting the information that is going to be needed to in the spring's births. What does it mean for us? I mean, we're taking this knowledge that we have gathered over a long period of time, and I say we, because at some point in these video series, there's going to be other people presenting that are studying various parts of the library that we just haven't got to yet. And the knowledge is being composted basically in the rebirthing season. So even in our current events out there here on Turtle Island, everything is in a rebirthing place. What is being said today may be different tomorrow. There's a constant change going on. That isn't just the political nature, that's out there. What nature learns and gives us today may be different tomorrow. And that's a difficult faith to have unless you're really studying it. But it's like anything else. The more you participate, the more you learn from it. So everything we're doing right now is rebirthing, the knowledge into a wisdom form, we hope, that can be used by everything that exists here on the planet Earth. But we don't want to get locked into just being about Earth, because we're in relationship to a lot of other planets and movements out there that are learning from us as we are learning from them. We can't exactly say what life forms they are, but we know we're influenced by the energy that's moving through the area. In the springtime, the power of birth. A lot of people understand that by the reproduction into having children. And we can see that out in the trees when they start their new offspring starting, or the new animals, the new deer that are running around, the fawns, the ducks. There's a birthing season. But it's a power, it's a gift that is given to us. Now, I may say from the Creator, you may call it God, you may call it Great Spirit, you may call it many different things. But what is common about whatever word you use, it's a universal intelligence that we're pulling off of. That universal intelligence here on Earth is a large factor of it comes from all the species evolving on Earth. So in the spring, a lot of things that we're doing right now, or you're doing in your life, we'll be trying to get out of the birth canal. In other words, we're rebirthing it now, we're setting intentions, but that's going to translate into trying to actually manifest it in the spring in some project or in some task, or it could be many things. The power of birthing. The summer's powers of growth. For a lot of people, that's pretty understandable too, because we spend a lot of time outside in the summer. So it's easy to see how we're growing it in our gardens or around our home, how we're trying to grow something that we want to change from the year before. But we also need to watch the animal world and the plant world, how it's growing. Did the growing season change? Did the patterns change ever so subtly? What power of that growth are they showing us? We have the power of death, fall and autumn, death and change. If you believe death be the final, this may be a little difficulty, and you may want to look at your beliefs around that, because everything changes form. And if you want to go study some physics, if you have faith in that, you will find there are statements that all form is interconvertible from one form into another. Energy just changes form. And that statement, you could also say the spirit just changes form. Energy is spirit. But there's a power in that, the ability to, I hate to use the word kill, but I can't pull a different one right now. The power to create death. And death of the forms. We do it all the time in our foods. We do it in our gardens. We do it in our landscaping. We do it in a lot of different places. But we don't think of ourselves, or most humans don't think of themselves as, death bringers. We'd rather give that a deity name or something like that. And so it's a little bit removed from our consciousness that we're actually doing it. But it's a big power that a lot of people are up against in these days in the rebirthing seasons. Because we really have to look at that in some where we are encouraged by our power to kill somebody else's dream, kill somebody else's ideas, kill somebody else's opinions. We're pretty quick on that one, rather than trying to learn from it and see what the wisdom of their opinion is. And maybe there isn't any. But that power of death, that we have to really come into ownership of that and be accountable to that as a human species. In a previous video was brought up about, for a lot of people, they're afraid to go out in nature. And it's safer to go down the street in a city than it is to walk out in nature. And I would really ask them to take a deep look in that. What is that? How's that power affecting them? Why are they so afraid of that power? Because for the most of nature, they're not in that same killing spree as a lot of the humans are. It's just part of the circle of life. In fact, those four powers are often called the circle of life in a lot of different traditions. And so it's just a circle. It just keeps going round and around and around and around, given to us through the seasons. As Mr. Cree or Eagleheart gave it to me, he taught me that we will spend as many incarnations as it takes to master those four powers. And I spoke about this previously. But that's got to really sink in. Because some people talk about that as reincarnation, and they don't really believe in that, and some people do. But if you really want to look in nature for verification, you really just have to look at the food chain to see how it works and how things go into the earth and come back up in a different form. And that's reincarnation. You can look in the hydrological cycle of water. Will show you how it reincarnates from water to steam to mist to a cloud to rain and comes back again. That is the death power. The form dies, but not the essence. It keeps going. So in this season that we're recording this, we are in the rebirthing time until the spring equinox in March. It's a time of rebirthing. In that rebirthing stage, we're really composting things from the last year's experiences. We're going to go silent at times with it because we're trying to replicate what the winter season is doing, so there's a need to be introspective. And then we'll get ready for the renewal season when the waters are dripping off the icicles and we just slowly wake up into the springtime. And that is also called the renewal season, or the renewal moon is in a lot of different tribes.
Well,
so that's a little bit more of revisiting the circle of life, the four powers, and I hope you got a lot out of it. So come and visit us anytime. It might be something to you.